In today's video, I have for you a couple of Christmas crafts that I did, and I think they turned out so absolutely so stinking adorable. I can't wait for you to see how they turned out, so stay tuned. Hey my friends, welcome back to my channel and welcome if you're new. Today's video is a fun video. It's part of a collaboration and it is called Fab 5 of the South. Now, there are 5 of us that have gotten together and we all represent different states in the South. I'm representing the state of Louisiana. The ladies that are taking part in this collaboration are Teresa from Our Green Acres, Kay and Trish from Crafting Cousins, Kathy from Crafty Kathy, and Jackie from Ruth and Ruby. If this is your first time to my channel, my name is Melissa. Thanks so much for coming by. When you finish watching this video, then I want you to go to my description box because I'm gonna have all of their channels listed there, as well as a playlist. We are coming to you today with some wonderful Christmas crafts. I know that you're gonna get a lot of inspiration from them. These ladies are so amazing, so I don't want you to miss any of it. Now for me, I have a couple of crafts for Christmas that are just so beautiful. I think they turn out so beautiful, and I can't wait for you to see it. So let's go ahead and get to crafting. This first project is using this board that I got from Target several years back, and I just had it in my stash and didn't do anything with it. It cost me about $3, so I decided to give it a Christmas makeover. And I'm starting off by adding these little balls that I got from Hobby Lobby from their wood section. And I like these because one side of them is flat, so it's good for using as feet. And if you've been around my channel, you know that I do sometimes craft while I'm at work. And this was an afternoon where some of us ladies at the shop got together and did some crafting. So I'm working on this board. I'm using this red Waverly chalk paint in the color crimson, and I'm just going over all of the wood portion of the board. And I'm gonna do 2 coats of the red, and I'm also going to do the bottom, but I'm not gonna do the little feet. For the chalkboard portion, this black portion of this little tray was to be used sort of as chalkboard. I think it was a chalkboard paint. But anyway, I'm going over it with Waverly chalk paint in the color ivory. And I'm also going to use this same color on the little feet of the tray. And I'm sorry if you get location whiplash, but I'm back at home for this portion. But I did decide that it needed another coat of the chalk paint, the white chalk paint. And I am using a little spray bottle with water in it just to help that chalk paint, you know, smooth out and brush out a little smoother and a little thinner. And it does leave less brush marks when I do this. And like I said earlier, I'm using that ivory chalk paint to do the feet, and I tried to get as much of it without having to tape around the base of those feet, but I ended up putting some painter's tape around the base just so I could get really good coverage with that chalk paint. Now before I put the transfers down, I am going to spray it with the matte finish because this wood is very dry, even with the paint on it. So I'm going to paint it, or I'm going to spray it just to make sure none of that paint gets peeled up when I do the transfer. For the center part of this tray, I'm using the ReDesign with Prima transfer set called Nutcracker Christmas. And there are several, these are really cute, but there are several that are just about the right size to go in the middle. So I'm gonna be using probably 6 of them, and just kind of, because they're kind of different tones, so I'm just gonna mix them up and just line them up, and maybe use some of these presents to kind of go with it and some of the snowflakes. But these are basically the transfers that I'm using for the center of the tray. I love using these transfers because it makes crafting so much easier. But basically you just peel off the white backing of the transfer, you lay the transfer on your project, and then you use the little stick to rub that transfer onto your project. And once you're finished rubbing the transfer completely down and it's all transferred from the plastic onto the project, then you take the plastic and then you go over each image with that plastic, and this just sets it all in place. All right, so we've got all of the transfers on there, which I think it's looking so cute. And everything is painted on the bottom. So before I go over, I do want to go over the red part just to kind of tone it down to match kind of the softness of the nutcrackers. I want to go over it with a white wax, but before I do, because I don't want it to be pink, so I don't want it to be too dull, but I'm going to go over it with a matte finish because you do need to seal your transfers in. So I'm just going to spray the top and the bottom with this matte finish sealer. Once that dried, I'm going over it with this ivory paint, and at first I thought I was going to kind of paint the whole red part, but as I started wiping it back, I really didn't like the look of it. And I don't know if you noticed, but I did kind of have a little accident where I accidentally got some paint on the side. But once I noticed it, I liked the way it looked. So I decided to do that on the whole project. Around all of the edges, I just kind of dry brushed that white paint or white wax along the edges. And surprisingly, even though I didn't paint over the red, the white along the edges did tone down that red, and it just kind of makes it look kind of snowy. I just think this turned out so cute. I just love the nutcrackers. You'll have to let me know if you decorate with nutcrackers, but I think this would be so cute in a coffee bar. For this project, I'm making over this little teapot, and I know that there are going to be some people that say, oh my goodness, I can't believe you're painting over that. But I bought this from a thrift store. It didn't have the little lid to it, and it sat in my booth for almost a year. So you know what? It's fine. I felt like I could make it look so much prettier with a little bit of paint. And to start off, I'm using this ivory chalk paint in the Waverly, and I'm just gonna paint the body of it, and this is definitely gonna take more than one coat because of that slick surface. I need to get some kind of primer that I can use and see if that helps. But anyway, I want to decorate this with a mold, so I'm going to use this mold right here. And this is a mold that I got from Temu. I'll see if I can find the link, but I'm going to use this Sculpey air dry clay, and I'm going to put, now you can use the air dry clay in the whole frame, but I'm only going to get the outer edge of it. So I'm just rolling that clay between my hands, get it kind of warmed up a little bit, and then I'm just going to put it around the edges only of the frame. And once I get that kind of the clay kind of put into place, I just start pressing it out. I press it in, and then I kind of start pressing it out against the sides just to, you know, make sure I don't get any of that center part in with the frame. And I did use a little knife just to clean up around that inner edge, just to make sure that it is as clean of a mold as possible. Once I have rolled the air dry clay out of the mold, I put some wood glue. It's still very pliable, so I put some wood glue on the back and I attached it to the pitcher. And after that had set for a little while and dried into place, actually I think I let it dry overnight, then I go back in and I put another coat of the paint. For the handle and the spout, I am going to paint that a different color. I'm going to use the Country Chic paint in the color Secret Garden. I'm almost to the end of it, and I just absolutely love this color. So I'm just taking a smaller paintbrush and I'm just painting as carefully as I can around the edges that's up next to that white, and then I just go over the rest of the handle and the spout with this green color. And this did take 2.5 coats. And at the last minute I changed my mind and decided to go ahead and paint that frame with that same green color. If I had thought about it before, I probably would have painted it before I attached it to the teapot, but I just used a really small paintbrush and tried to be as careful as I could not to get that green paint everywhere on that pitcher or on that teapot. But I painted this green and it took about 1.5 coats. Now that I have all my coats of paint and I have good coverage, I'm going to take this outside and I'm going to spray it with this matte finish sealer. I just want to seal in this paint. I don't want any of the green to smudge when I go to the next step. The next step is to add this little transfer. This came from one of the ReDesign with Prima transfer sets, and I feel like it's gonna be really pretty in here. So I'm just gonna get this laid down. I need to seal in that transfer, so I'm actually using this Waverly wax. It's the clear wax, and I'm going over the whole teapot because I am using the white wax, Waverly white wax, on just the green part. And I'm not going too heavy on the white wax. I just want enough just to kind of show some dimension in those lines of the frame. For the final touch, I just feel like this needs just a little hint of gold, so I'm going to use this metallic luster in the color Gold Rush, and I'm just going to use my finger to put it on because I don't want too much, so I'm just going to lightly go over it, just some of the raised bits. and then this project will be finished. And I also did decide to put just a little hint of that gold along certain parts of the handle, the spout, and the rim. And for one final touch, I hung a little gold ornament out of the spout, and I think that looks so cute. I absolutely love this project. Before I close out this video, I do want to share a Bible verse with you, and this verse comes from 1 Peter chapter 2, verse 9, and it says, "But you are a chosen people, a royal priesthood, a holy nation, a people for God's own possession, so that you may proclaim the excellencies of Him who has called you out of darkness into His marvelous light." I hope that blesses you, and I do want to once again thank all the wonderful ladies that are part of this awesome collaboration for including me. Make sure you go visit all of them. Remember that I'm going to have all of the channels and the playlist listed in my description box, so go check it out. And if you're new to my channel and you love crafting, you love thrifting, DIYs, then I would love it if you would become a part of my YouTube family. Make sure you click that subscribe button. Click the like button because it does help me out with YouTube, and leave me a comment and tell me where you're from and tell me what your favorite project was. If you want to see more videos like this, then check out the boxes you see on the screen right now, and I'll see you next time. Bye.